In the quiet, close-knit town of Delphi, Indiana, a picture-perfect day turned into a national tragedy. On February 13, 2017, two best friends, Libby German, 14, and Abby Williams, 13, went for a hike and never returned. Their disappearance and subsequent murders launched a sprawling 5-year investigation, leaving a small community reeling. This is the story of a case with shocking twists, controversial theories, and a final, long-awaited resolution. Before we dive into the details of the crime, it's essential to understand who these girls were and the community they called home. Liberty German, a vivacious and energetic 14-year-old, was known for her love of photography and her keen sense of adventure. She was inseparable from her best friend, Abigail Williams, a 13-year-old with a sweet and caring nature. They were more than just friends. They were like sisters. Their families were deeply rooted in Delphi, a small town of about 3,000 people, where everyone knew everyone, and the community was a source of immense pride. When the girls vanished, that tight-knit spirit transformed into an unwavering resolve to find them. The day of the murders, February 13, 2017, started out like any other. Libby's older sister dropped the girls off at the Monon High Bridge Trail at approximately 1:49 p.m. They were scheduled to be picked up by Libby's father at 3:15 p.m., but when he arrived, they were nowhere to be found. By 5:30 p.m., a desperate search was underway, with hundreds of volunteers from the community and surrounding areas turning out in the freezing cold to search through the night. The search was tragically cut short on February 14, 2017, when their bodies were discovered less than a mile from the bridge on a private property belonging to a man named Logan. Just one day later, on February 15th, police released a grainy image of a possible suspect, captured on Libby's phone. But the full picture of this critical evidence is even more chilling. A full 43-second video, which was retrieved from Libby's phone, showed Abby walking along the Monon High Bridge, with the man later dubbed Bridge Guy walking behind her in the distance. Libby had secretly recorded the encounter.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
Guys.
Hi.
Yeah, man.
This was followed by the chilling release of a short audio clip, also from Libby's phone, where a muffled voice can be heard saying the words, "Down the hill."
Guys.
Hi.
Yeah, man.
This was not just a random recording. According to the probable cause affidavit, one of the victims can be heard mentioning the word gun as the man approached and gave them this command.
We go down.
The girls, in their final moments, had unknowingly captured crucial evidence that would become the centerpiece of the investigation. In the early stages of the inquiry, the search for the killer led to several individuals, including two men who garnered significant public attention: Logan and Kegan Kline. Logan, the owner of the property where the girls' bodies were found, was brought in for questioning. While never charged with their murders, his actions raised immediate suspicion. An FBI affidavit noted that Logan had asked a relative to provide a false alibi for him on the day of the murders, a request that was found to be factually false and intentionally designed to deceive investigators. An FBI agent also noted that Logan's voice was not inconsistent with the audio from Libby's phone. His proximity to the crime scene and his initial actions raised many questions, but he was ultimately not identified as the killer. He did, however, plead guilty to a probation violation, which resulted in him spending over a year in prison. Another key figure was Kegan Kline, a man who, using the fake social media profile Anthony Shots, had allegedly been communicating with Libby online. He created this profile using photos of a male model, portraying himself as wealthy and owning numerous sports cars to build a rapport with young girls. While he was not charged with their murders, his actions exposed a dark side of online grooming. He was eventually convicted of 25 crimes against children and sentenced to a lengthy 43 years in prison. His case highlighted the dangers lurking online and was a separate but connected tragedy stemming from the Delphi investigation. For years, the case went cold, despite thousands of tips. The breakthrough finally came from an overlooked lead, thanks to the intuition of a volunteer file clerk named Kathy Schenk. In 2022, Kathy found a lead sheet from February 16, 2017, buried in a desk drawer. The tip was labeled Richard Allen Whiteman and indicated he had been on the trail on February 13, 2017. Realizing she had never heard this name mentioned in connection with the case, Kathy cross-referenced the tip with existing witness statements. She put two and two together and brought it to lead investigator Tony Liggett.
When I found that, I realized that I had not heard of this person, and I went to the file drawer and found the actual file for Richard Allen Whiteman at that time, as it had been written. And I read the report that Dan Doolin had made after he had spoken with him. And I, as being an investigator, I had looked at some of the statements from the girls that said they had seen a person out at the bridge. And basically, I put the two and two together, took it to Tony, and we went from there.
That crucial action ultimately led to a fresh look at a man who had placed himself at the trails on the day of the murders and became the lead suspect.
Today is not a day to celebrate, but the arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi on 2 counts of murder is sure a major step in leading to the conclusion of this long-term and complex investigation.
Richard Allen, a 50-year-old pharmacy technician, was arrested on October 26, 2022. He was a Delphi resident, married with a daughter, and worked at the local CVS store. He seemed like a typical, unremarkable community member. But the case against him was about to be anything but. Many questioned how Allen's original tip, submitted just days after the murders, was overlooked for years, a lapse that may have delayed justice. The tip, submitted to the Carroll County Sheriff's Office on February 16, 2017, contained a typo, labeling him Richard Allen Whiteman. For reasons that remain unclear, the tip was marked as cleared and buried in the case file, even though it came from a local resident who admitted to being on the bridge that day. This critical piece of information, hiding in plain sight for over 5 years, prevented the case from moving forward and left a community desperate for answers. With Allen now in custody, the legal proceedings that followed would prove to be as complex and chaotic as the investigation itself. His defense attorneys, Andrew Baldwin and Bradley Rozzi, presented an explosive theory in a court filing. They claimed the murders were part of a ritualistic killing by a white nationalist pagan cult known as Odinism. According to court documents, the bodies were posed and partially covered with branches, and symbols allegedly created with sticks were found arranged near one of the victims. These details fueled the ritualistic theory, though the court ultimately barred this line of defense from being presented to the jury. The defense lawyers themselves became a story when confidential crime scene photos were leaked from their office. The leaked images, which were shared online, contained extremely graphic and sensitive content, including images of the victims' bodies and what the defense claimed were the aforementioned pagan symbols. This breach of confidentiality led to an unprecedented legal upheaval. Judge Francis Gull removed the defense attorneys from the case, citing their professional misconduct and the serious security breach. The Indiana Supreme Court later reinstated them, stepping in to stabilize the increasingly volatile legal process. Earlier, the original judge, Benjamin Diener, had already stepped down, citing safety concerns for his family and court staff amid intense public scrutiny. Amid the escalating legal chaos, Richard Allen was moved from a county jail to the Westville Correctional Facility, a maximum security prison. This transfer was reportedly a security measure given the high-profile nature of the case. However, his defense attorneys argued that Allen was being subjected to inhumane conditions that led to a severe mental health decline. They claimed he was kept in solitary confinement for months in a restrictive housing unit, where he was denied proper medical and mental health care. The evidence against Alan was significant. While there was no DNA linking him to the scene, he admitted to police that he had been on the trails that day to watch the fish. More critically, investigators discovered an unspent .40 caliber round between the victims' bodies, which forensic analysis matched to a pistol found at Alan's home. The video footage from Libby's phone, paired with early witness statements, described a man who appeared muddy and bloody, though the witness later walked back the bloody description. Still, the image aligned with Alan's physical description and clothing. Perhaps the most damning evidence came from Alan himself. While in custody, he reportedly confessed to the murders more than 60 times, to his wife, his mother, fellow inmates, and prison staff.
I just wanted to apologize to you.
What's going on, sweetheart?
I did it.
Well? You did
No,
what?
I did it.
What?
I killed Abby. I killed Abby and Libby.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you didn't, Darren.
Yes, I did.
Don't say
I don't
you
know
didn't.
why.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't, Darren. You're not feeling well. There's something wrong. They've messed up your meds or something there.
No, I mean, I evidently did it.
No, you didn't. Why would you say that?
Because maybe I did.
No, you didn't, dear.
I think I did.
No, you didn't. They are screwing with you there, and I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. There's something wrong. They are messing with you. They are messing with your mind.
Alan's attorneys contend that these confessions were a result of his deteriorating mental state, caused by the harsh jail conditions, a factor they argued should cast doubt on the prosecution's case. They claimed these conditions triggered a psychological breakdown and rendered his confessions unreliable. The long-awaited trial for the Delphi murders began in late 2024.
Richard Allen, you child murderer! Why did you do it? Shame on you!
The jury, which was sequestered, heard the emotional testimony from the victims' families and the intricate details of the case from the prosecution. They were shown a digitally enhanced version of the Bridge Guy video that provided a clearer image of the man and his clothing, and heard the chilling audio where the word gun could be heard. The prosecution's case hinged on 3 key pieces of evidence. Firstly, the unspent bullet. They presented the unspent .40 caliber round found between the girls' bodies, which was forensically matched to a handgun found in Alan's home. The prosecution argued this placed Alan at the scene and was a chilling calling card left behind. Secondly, the confessions. The jury heard the damning jailhouse confessions, where Richard Allen admitted to the crimes on multiple occasions to his wife, his mother, and fellow inmates. A clinical psychologist also testified that Allen confessed to her, stating he had originally planned a sexual assault, but was startled by a passing van, which caused him to panic and then slit the girls' throats. Thirdly, the video and audio. The prosecution used the enhanced video and audio from Libby's phone to identify Allen as the man on the bridge. The defense, on the other hand, struggled to counter this evidence. While they were not permitted to present their Odinism theory as a defense, they argued there was no direct DNA evidence linking Allen to the crime. They questioned the chain of custody for the bullet and tried to cast doubt on the confessions, suggesting they were the result of Allen's deteriorating mental state in prison. After a tense and emotional trial, the jury deliberated for less than 2 days. They returned a verdict in November 2024, finding Richard Allen guilty on all counts of felony murder. On December 20, 2024, he was sentenced to the maximum possible term, 130 years in prison, 65 years for each victim to be served consecutively. Judge Francis Gull stated that he ranked right up there with the most hideous crimes she had presided over in 27 years. In a new Hulu documentary titled Capturing Their Killer, The Girls on the High Bridge, his wife, Kathy Allen, spoke out for the first time, insisting on his innocence.
I need people to know that my husband's not a monster. He's not the monster that people think he is. He's been accused of a horrendous crime, being charged with double homicide of 2 girls.
With Richard Allen now behind bars, the question remains for many. Could anyone else be involved? The defense's Odinism theory, while dismissed by the court, has continued to fuel speculation among some in the public. Furthermore, even with a conviction, a new detail has emerged that threatens to reignite old questions. Richard Allen's defense team, in a motion to overturn his conviction, has claimed that a jailhouse confession from Ron Logan was withheld by the state. This allegation, made by a now-deceased man who was a person of interest in the case, is compounded by the testimony of his ex-girlfriend, Connie Dillman, who claimed to have recognized his build, walk, and voice in the Bridge Guy video.
The very day that I heard that Abby and Libby were murdered on his property, and I said, oh my God, he finally killed somebody.
Liberty German shot this chilling image of the killer approaching the girls on a hiking trail, and she recorded the killer's voice.
Yeah.
What do you hear on there?
Nothing that I recognize at all. No one. I don't recognize the voice at all.
Wow. That's your voice.
With other potential suspects, such as Logan and Kegan Kline, some remain unconvinced that Allen acted alone, or at all. The case's many twists and lingering unknowns raise a chilling question. Did they convict the right man? Allen's defense team has filed motions to overturn the conviction, citing newly uncovered evidence and alleged prosecutorial misconduct. For now, however, the justice system has made its ruling, and after years of anguish, the families of Libby and Abby have received a measure of closure and finally had the chance to address the man who took their daughters' lives. At the sentencing, their words painted a vivid picture of the enduring pain and the long, difficult road to justice. Kelsey German, Libby's older sister, spoke about the profound loss and the unfillable void left in their lives. She described Libby as the most beautiful girl in the world, the best sister, best friend, and best person she had ever known. Mike Patty, Libby's grandfather, reflected on the community's unwavering support and the solace he found in the verdict. His statement read, "We've been through so much as a family and as a community. Today, we feel a sense of closure we never thought we'd have. This doesn't bring the girls back, but it gives us a measure of peace knowing the man responsible will never harm anyone else." And in a statement read on behalf of Abby's family, a similar theme of heartbreak and resilience was shared. Abby was an angel, full of kindness and a love for life. Her laughter is something we will never forget. We will always miss her, but we are grateful for this day. Justice has been served and our girls can finally rest. The Delphi Murders remain a tragic story that reminds us of the dangers that can hide in plain sight and the importance of community. The courage of Libby, who recorded her killer, led to the evidence that helped solve the case. Her legacy, and that of Abby, lives on. This case is filled with so many twists and lingering questions. What do you think about the final verdict? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to support more content like this, please give this video a like and subscribe to the channel.